Another episode of Unaccompanied Adult with Joe Diaz. What's going on, everybody? Thank you. Thank you. Again, half the room clapping, half the room in their seats, just like the address to Congress today. Anywho, what's going on, everyone? Another episode of Unaccompanied Adult with Joe Diaz. I am your host with sometimes the most, sometimes the least. Joe Diaz. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you enjoyed the small glimpse of spring that happened last week, and I think like 2 days. Was it Saturday, Friday and Saturday over the weekend, which is great. It was amazing. It felt good to not be fucking shivering in my timbers for those couple of days. But then fucking Sunday, right back, 30 degrees plummet. Whatever, bro. Whatever. But spring is right around the corner. And I'm ready for it. I am absolutely ready for it, even though I'm still wearing my hat, my fucking sweaters and hoodies and all that shit. But, you know, I can feel it. I can feel it. Right, it's right there. It's etching. Oh, I'm so close. um, but yes, again, it was a very nice day on Friday, which just so happened to be my and my girl's second year anniversary. Let's hear it. There we go. Yes. Yeah, so second year anniversary. Took her out to a nice little restaurant out in Morristown here in Jersey. Had a really good time. Really good time. It was an interesting experience. It was an interesting experience because like it's some restaurants they're like BOB. Yes, they're fucking palms over back. They're BYOB. And usually, you just see, wine or, somebody brought beer. Like we brought rosé. Because we're fancy like that and we do fancy shit. So what's funny is that, like, as we're, looking around the dining area, my girl spots like some guy like sitting like behind me, and she has a direct eyesight to them, and they're drinking like aguardiente, which is like an anise based alcohol, very popular in Colombia for those of you who don't know. And she's like, yo, the fucking that table, that couple has like a bottle of aguardiente. And not only that, the wait staff and the maitre d', they're going over to the table every so often, like every 2 minutes. They're having shots with the couple, so they're getting lit. Like, a couple of times my girl saw our waiter taking shots, and then all of a sudden, when he's like doing his rounds, she sees that he stumbles a little bit, and then like he might have like almost bumped into me, but like good thing he was able to get his bearings and all that. But yeah, again, like it's weird not just to see like hard liquor at a BYOB. Directly next to us, to my left, I saw a couple. Whatever. Yeah, again, they might have been on a date. They might have been friends. Who knows? They might have been cheating. Whatever. To each his own. The guy brought out a bottle of Bacardi Limon. like a fifth of fucking Bacardi Limon. Like, I haven't seen that shit since fucking Baggy Jeans and Mobb Deep videos, bro. Like, I haven't seen anybody drink Bacardi Limon since like the early 2000s, right? And then, like, so yeah, so he cracks it open, he pours out some for the homies, I guess. And then he asks the waiter for um like Coke. So my guy is having rum and Coke at a semi fancy restaurant. You know, it was a good vibe, but it was a little iffy. It was a little iffy on like if I must say myself, the letting in the riffraff. But yes, we had a really good time. We ate until we could eat no more. And then, like, yeah, again, like it was our anniversary, so happy anniversary, babe. I love you. Um, she's out of country right now, so she's and then she's traveling after that for work. So you know, the boy is alone for 2 weeks, left to his own devices. So all the naps, bro, all of them. I'm taking all the naps, all of them. Anyway, so yeah, it was cold over the weekend. Saturday was, it was a chill day. Sunday, of course, was the Oscars. Um, and yes, it was a good Oscars. Conan O'Brien hosted. Uh, Pretty funny. I love Conan. I've been watching Conan for a very long time, since I was like in middle school and shit. So, it was real cool to see him host for the first time. Had a lot of good jokes, a lot of good bits. Um, Whatever. It's the Oscars. It's whatever. It's Hollywood's biggest night and all that. Whatever. The one thing I was excited for was Zoe Saldana winning for best supporting actress in a drama. Yeah, man. Like, she's big Jersey. She's from Passaic. I learned that night. But big Jersey, and she's Dominican descent, the first Dominican to ever win an Oscar. So that's big business. I love that. There was like a lot of night of firsts. It was a night of a lot of firsts, I should say. At the Oscars, it was like, the first African American man um who won for costume design. It was like the first, I think, Yugoslavian or Estonian, whatever the fuck, uh, they won for like some animated feature. It was a night of firsts. It was a night of first. Um, so, which like, so like for example, what came to mind was, with all these firsts and with all these um Oscars, is 97 years, the 97th Oscar. Like, I understand, you know, the first 40 years of the Oscars, pretty fucking racist. Um, it was pretty single minded, whatever. But like, wow, like, with all the work that, you know, um, Denzel's been doing, uh, fucking Don Cheadle has been doing, Mahershala Ali, um, fucking Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, Zoe Saldana, fucking Jennifer Lopez, like acting like she can sing. She deserves something for that. Not a Grammy, but like an Emmy, a Tony. I don't know. Um, like, it's very surprising that so little and so few um people of color have uh won an Oscar. Many have been nominated, um, but it's very strange that a lot haven't been winning these prestigious awards. Like, with the Grammys, they're like, oh my God, Beyonce, she won for a country album. She what does she know about country? I don't know. She's from Texas and Houston and shit. I don't know. She's country as shit. Um, but like you see the status quo fighting back. You see him fighting back a little bit, and it's very indicative of what's going on in the country. And I'm going to serious this one out a lot today, just because it's hard to ignore. It's really hard to ignore what is going on in today's culture in the United States. Um, you know, with what's happening with people of color, with uh, the migrants, where however you feel about immigration and whether it's illegal and illegal and all these migrants and sanctuary cities and all that. No matter how you feel about that, I think a note of empathy is what's missing in today's world, and I try to empathize as much as I can. I try to empathize with the more downtrodden and the most persecuted of today's society. I try to because I am a person of color. My father's Dominican, my mother's Honduran. I was raised in Elizabeth in a predominantly black neighborhood, predominantly black city, um, who's known for, in the 1960s, Elizabeth was caught in the race riots that happened in Newark. So like it's a lot of stuff that happened historically in this city, and my connection to this city and my connection to Jersey, it's strong. I was born and raised here. I see uh, when I go elsewhere, when I go fucking even in Jersey, if I go down to South Jersey, it feels like I'm in a different fucking state sometimes. Like just because of um how they look down on people of color in certain towns. Like I recently found out that there's sundown towns in Jersey. Like there still exists. Like if you don't know what a sundown town is, it, I congratulate you for being so sheltered. But yeah, like I found out that there's like hundreds of sundown towns all across the country, and like 10 or 11 in Jersey alone, which is crazy. Like Jersey is, if you don't know what a sundown town is, a sundown town is uh you're not allowed, if you're a person of color, you're not allowed to be in the town or out in that town when the sun goes down, or shit is gonna happen to you. Um, Obviously, very prominent in the Jim Crow era of the country, of the country's history, as to say. Um, but yeah, so my connection to the more persecuted and more downtrodden, like I said before, of society, it hits home. Um, I'm and I was talking to my girl about this the other day, and what surprised her is when I said that I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free. Anyway, um, I am. I wouldn't live any other place on the planet because I love my country. I was born and raised here. This is my culture. This is this is my land. You know, I feel uncomfortable when I go anywhere else because like what's funny is like the first time I was ever out of country, I think it was like 2002, around there. Yeah, 2002. I went down to Honduras for my cousin's wedding, and they called me Yank. And my mother's Honduran. I'm half Honduran. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm touching base. I'm in the motherland. But I saw how they're like, oh, you're a Yankee. Like you're a Yankee. You're not us. You're not like us. So I was like, oh shit. So I'm a spick in the United States and I'm a Yankee in Honduras. So I was like, but I don't know. It's like it was that uneasiness that I felt when I was over there. And then when I finally came back to the United States, I was like, I had a much more a deeper appreciation of my upbringing and my my country. So yeah, which surprised my girl because I am very critical of the United States, and I think if you love something so much, if you love it, I think you're able to criticize it because it comes from love. I don't hate my country. I'm not too fond of the government, and that's fair. That's fair to say. Um, Eminem said it. I'm all for America, but fuck the government. But I love my country. Like, I wouldn't live anywhere else. However, what's going on today is a little unsettling. It's a little unsettling. Um, the attacks on DEI that's going on. Uh the new administration. However you feel about the administration, um, he's attacking and dismantling diversity, equity, and inclusion on the federal level. On the federal level, um, which is I don't know because in their defense, in their argument, I should say, not to their defense, in their argument, they're saying, well, you should be able to get a job based on your merit. Yes, absolutely. Yes. But the Civil Rights Act of 64, it was necessary. It was necessary to create these opportunities for African Americans, for Jewish Americans, for women and Latin Americans to be able to get jobs to study what he wanted to without being discriminated against. That's the whole gist of it. Now, excuse me. Now, I understand that throughout the years numbers have skewed. Now, the only reason somebody works here is because they're filling a quota. And that's whatever system that's put in place, you're gonna find somebody that's gonna that will pervert it. Um, but I do think it's necessary. What's funny is that like I said last episode, I'm gonna start a new company. I'm never gonna say what name of the company is, but I was on LinkedIn and then when they posted something and then I reposted it. Um, and how they're how should I say it? They are committed to the idea of DEI, which is the promotion uh, of diversity and equity within the company and inclusion within the company, which is necessary. I feel is necessary. I don't see what the problem with including everybody is. Like, for the bottom line, I think like I don't understand how it's bad for business to include everybody from different backgrounds, different cultures, different races, ages, or whatever, to come together for a commonality, which is the betterment of a company. Now, if you take that on a federal level, if you take that on a educational level, it's the same process. It's the same idea behind it, where you go, where is it? why is it, I should say, why is it a negative thing to have so many people with different backgrounds in the military? I get it. The mission is the mission. I don't care if you're red, black, and blue, green, whatever, purple. You the only color I care about is red, white, and blue, sir. And shit like that. I get it. I completely get it. But I think sensitivity to other people's cultures and empathy for other people should be taken into consideration. Like, I don't see what I don't see where the negative is. I don't. Like, I remember when my daughter was younger and I saw like Wonder Woman, and I saw, I was watching Wonder Woman and shit, like, and I was like, wow, this is really important. It's important for my daughter to see a female superhero on, and I know I'm going around, I'm jumping around. I saw, it's important for my daughter to see a female superhero. You know, I grew up reading comic books all the fucking time. Um, and in comic books, they promoted diversity, inclusion, and equity, and they also put the struggles of fighting for equality and fighting for diversity and fighting for the right to fucking exist. Very recently, me and my girl, we went to go see Captain America, now starring Anthony Mackie. Now, the whole hurrah and the whole hoopla surrounding this fucking movie is, why is Captain America black? I'm like, well, you're a comic book fan, aren't you? Of course. Right? So do you know that Sam Wilson became Captain America in 2014? This is not new. This is not wokeness. This is not, no. It's Captain America. Steve Rogers dies in the comic books, and Sam Wilson took the shield. Well, I still don't think, like, okay, cool. It's a comic book, bro. Is a fictional fucking character. Is a fucking guy who flies in jet propelled wings and fights a guy with a red skull. I don't see what the fight is about. It's not like they're like, fucking, they made like Abraham Lincoln black on a fucking penny and shit, which I have my theories of why he's on the penny. Anyway, but yeah, so you see all that happening. You see all the fucking Reddit forums and fucking the think pieces, like the Marvel's getting too woke. And then like a couple of years ago, they made like Haley Bailey, the Little Mermaid. They're like, well, to be honest, a mermaid's skin would be white because they don't see the sunlight a lot. Like, you're arguing for a fictional character. Again, you're arguing for a fictional character. Again, Sam Wilson, Captain America. Fucking, they did it with Jon Stewart, taking over for Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern. In the early 2000s, they changed Nick Fury's look from, the David Hasselhoff looking motherfucker to somebody that resembled Samuel L. Jackson. And there's a bunch of other nerdy examples that I could bring up, but yeah, we're fighting for representation. You're fighting against it. And I get it. You're losing your heroes and what, like, I remember a couple of years ago, I want to say 20 years ago at this point, when they were trying to create a new Superman movie. And I remember like Will Smith was considered to play Kal-El, right? And then he declined. Respectfully, he declined. And then he's on record as saying it as, there's one thing I know is that you don't mess with white people's superheroes. So he understood the backlash that he was going to get for playing Superman. And everybody knows the first and only black Superman is Shaquille Terrence O'Neal of Newark, New Jersey, Big Jersey. But yes, but again, we're fighting for inclusion. We're fighting, the idea of inclusion and exclusion was at stake now. I agree. I shouldn't get a job solely based on my race. Solely based on my race? No, absolutely not. I feel that if I get a job, I should be highly qualified for it. Or absolutely the best candidate for the role, for the position, which I feel like I've always been. Like, in my career, I've always felt like I've been the best candidate for whatever position I got. Now, the jobs that I didn't get, I wasn't the best one. I wasn't the best candidate, and I'm willing to accept that. But if it was between me and some fucking douchebag who just came in off the street and fucking dirty shirt and all that shit, and I'm dressed in my Sunday's best, and it's between me and him, and he gets a job, then I know I didn't get it because of my race. Because whatever, optics. I try not to believe that in 2025, but the older I get and the more I experience, I see it more and more, and it's a lot more apparent that that's what's clearly going on. And me, again, I am so sheltered from true racism. Like, I get discrimination. I get discrimination. I get, prejudice, but I don't get racism. Like I live on the East Coast, Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania for the most part, like in some parts of Pennsylvania, anywhere near a major city. So sheltered because it is a lot more diverse, a lot more liberal, I guess. So I don't experience said discriminatory practices. But there are people like the Carolinas and Georgias and the Alabamas and the Mississippis and the Kentuckys and the Indianas and all that shit that do experience the shit on a daily basis. So they need representation in whatever job force or workforce that they have in their fucking home state. They need it. It's necessary. The Civil Rights Act was fucking necessary to make sure that people are getting the same treatment and the same opportunities as their white counterparts or their male counterparts. Again, women, y'all part of this shit too. One thing I've always heard growing up, they teach us in social studies, they teach us in civics class and all that shit. They're like, well, the United States is a melting pot. Melting pot. You put things in a melting pot, you melt it down, and it becomes one solid source, one solid mass. And I'm like, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I do not think that's true. America isn't a melting pot. It's a coloring book. It's a coloring book. It's a rainbow. Because a melting pot, you lose your individuality when the color loses its individuality, the mass the elements, it gets lost, and the phrase is you get lost in the sauce. It all becomes one. So there's no true individuality. A coloring book, you have all these colors that come together to create a beautiful picture. America is not a melting pot, ladies and gentlemen. It is a coloring book. Matter of fact, while doing my research for just to ramble on, I guess, there's two theories. There's two theories out there. There's a melting pot theory and there's the salad bowl theory. And just by picturing that, just the optics of it is powerful. It's a powerful visual that you see in your mind's eye. Right there in the middle of your head. Mind's eye. The melting pot theory requires immigrants to assimilate to become one common culture, which is the American culture. Which, yes, if you come to America, I think you should not assimilate, but adapt to American culture. There's certain things that are done in different cultures and done in different countries that aren't acceptable here. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. That's a bit harsh, but there have been reports that, yeah, they're seeing ducks. We eat ducks. What the fuck? We eat ducks in every other fucking part of the world. We even duck here. We eat duck l'orange here. So I get it. There's certain things that you do in your country, people do in their countries of origin, that aren't really socially acceptable here in the United States. The good old USA. So that's the melting pot theory is that you come to this country and you assimilate. You become one with the Borg. Then there's the salad bowl theory. The salad bowl theory calls for us to celebrate our diversity along with our oneness in America, which I think is the whole DEI and against DEI argument the whole time. Because you have this group of people saying, we shouldn't be different. America is America. You should be speaking English. You should be praying to a white Jesus. And you should be, listening to fucking Trace Atkins and drinking a goddamn Budweiser on the 4th of July. That is the melting pot. You assimilate to our culture. Fuck where you come from. Be one with us. Got it. Then the salad bowl theory is, hey, let me try those tacos. Hey, is that Kafka? Let me have that. Hey, is that a schnitzel over there? Let me have some of that. It's culturally, we're different. We have to be different. We have different backgrounds and we have different races and cultures or whatever. And when we come together, it makes the country that much more beautiful, in my opinion. Now, here's what I don't get. And then this is where, and I'm going to wrap up soon. This is why I don't get. I don't get when Latinos who come from other countries come over here and then assimilate, but still celebrate their culture. I don't get that, because they voted for whoever they voted for. They voted for Trump. Whatever. That's bro, that's on you. But he's completely disrespecting you to your face, saying that you can't be Mexican, you can't be Puerto Rican, you can't be Dominican, you can't be Colombian in this fucking country. You're American when you come to this fucking country. And then you go, well, he's still my guy. But he's telling you that your culture, your country of origin is null and void when you become an American or when you come to America. How does that make you feel? And I'm asking, this is why I'm looking directly into the camera. I'm asking you, how does that make you feel? That the man that you voted for, the man that is going to bring down egg prices, he's going to get rid of taxes on tips, says, and amongst other bullshit, when he says that you are not special because you come from another fucking country, because you're here and you have to be one of us. There's no more carnaval. There's no more, I'm going to speak Spanish whenever I want, because English is now the official, I guess, the official language of the United States. You can't speak none of that. And Latinos, you're not alone. No. In a couple of weeks, we'll be celebrating St. Patty's Day. And then Columbus Day is sometime down the year, later on in the year. You guys aren't special either. Irish and Italians. There's no more Oktoberfest. Fuck all that shit. Because it's not American. It's not. So how does it make you feel? Yeah. It's all good and fun when the person that you're attacking speaks a different language than you. That comes from a Latin American country, the brown skin and all that goofy shit. But now when you start looking at the Irish, the Italian, the German, now I have no fucking problem with anybody celebrating any fucking holiday that they fucking want. Celebrate it. Celebrate your differences. Celebrate your culture. You can do it. I believe in you. I love the food. I love the culture. I love the pride of your culture. But don't shit on another person's culture, and don't say that you're American first, boy. And they go, well, I'm Irish American. Or I'm Italian American. No. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Again, I'm a little riled up, but I don't understand it. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to be. It's what the fuck this country is built on. They don't want me. The fucking pilgrims are like they don't want us to fucking pray the way that we want to pray. So we're leaving. We became a goddamn country. We became independent from fucking King George or Henry. I don't know. I don't know my history that way. Like we don't want taxation without representation. Who the fuck is he? We built this fucking country. We built this civilization, this society on our fucking differences, on our rebellion against the status fucking quo. And yet here we are saying, well, you got to get in line. You have to pray the way that we pray. You have to speak the way that we fucking speak. And I don't care about your disabilities. I don't care about your ethnicity, your race, your gender. I don't give a fucking about nothing, bro. When you're in this company, you're part of the Walmart family. You're part of the Walmart family. Is the Walmart family not enough for you? So is either we celebrate our differences or we throw the baby out with the bathwater. What do you mean by that, Joe? What do I mean by that? Okay. So on the job application, and believe me, in the past couple of months, I filled out a few. There's your race. Now you can choose to answer or not, whatever. I chose to because whatever. Your race. Boom. What race are you? Eskimo is up there somewhere. Anyway. Then there's what gender you are. Then there's do you have a disability? And then, are you a protected veteran? That sounds like DEI to me. I say you throw the baby out with the bathwater. You either include all of it or you include none of it. You can't fucking cherry pick on what you want represented in this fucking country. You can't cherry pick what you want represented or representing your company, your society. So take that for food for thought. And that's it. Again, a little heated today. Just a tad. Hopefully somebody's gonna do something goofy in the next couple of days, in the next week that will make me happy or laugh or whatever. But whatever. And with that, this has been another episode of Unaccompanied Adult with Joe Diaz. Peace.